You were talking about the Gretchen Whitmer?
Yes, and agent provocateurs. This is crazy what's coming out about it.
I don't know anything about it.
The majority of people involved in the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping are FBI.
What?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I know. And they were basically convincing this person to escalate into potentially kidnapping. And so what they're doing right now is they're suing the FBI for entrapment. And so now there's this huge case.
That's happened for years, though. That stuff has been happening
for years.
For years, right?
You know what's the scariest video? Everyone needs to see this video. In the 70s, we had a Russian KGB agent defect from Russia to the United States. And his whole life, he was acting as an agent provocateur in like India, right? I can't forget his name. I don't remember his name, but it's easy to look him up. And he gives these lectures of what the playbook is for KGB to flip governments.
It's crazy.
And he goes step by step what he has done, what they've succeeded doing, and what he knows they're planning on doing to the United States. And it's all about inflating racial tension. And you watch this video and he goes step by step on how to demoralize a nation, which is the first thing you have to do in order to flip its government, is to demoralize a nation. Now, this playbook we've done, you know, probably in Latin America, which we do constantly in order for oil rights, like in Venezuela, or, you know, regime changes or whatever we need to do. And he just completely breaks it down and talks about these agent provocateurs and how he was one. And he pretended to be this hippie over in India. And he would be passing on information about this group that he infiltrated as just this, like, you know, sandal wearing hippie. He's a sandal wearing hippie, but he was an agent provocateur, and he's one of the most articulate people I've ever heard. And he gives this 2-hour-long presentation.
Is this a TED Talk? It sounds like a TED Talk.
No, he was doing it, I think, in Cambridge.
Oh, cool.
No, really. Yeah. It is a lecture. It's a lecture in like Ivy League universities where he's talking about, mark my words, this is going to happen in America. Wow. And so, you know, this kind of like brings up an interesting conversation, right? Whereas free-thinking Americans, we have to be conscious of that as well as how we protect ourselves and our freedoms. You know, and I feel like people aren't taking that very seriously.
I think people have so many other things. Obviously, it is very serious, right? But it's distance from us. And people have so many other things in their present-day lives that they're trying to worry and manage about that doesn't come to the forefront.
You know, this is the argument of why we're a democratic republic as opposed to an actual democracy, right? We're really a republic. We're not even a democracy, right? A democracy was ancient Greece, where every single person in the city would meet at the Agropolis, I think it was called, where they would all deliberate on what kind of laws they'd want to pass. We're a democratic republic, right? So it's a little bit different. And that's why we want representation in order to make the choices for the masses. But it still requires a balance. And this is where I think a lot of our civic duties have gone to the wayside. You know, it's like it should be our responsibility to take that into account, because we do have a voice and we do have things to say. You know, it's important because all this can go. You know what I mean? Like,
well, if that's the case, I'd move back to England. Just bounce straight away.
How is England doing right now? Are they kind of in turmoil? Are they doing all right?
I actually don't know. My brother's there right now. So
what does he say?
He seems pretty content.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really strict on the lockdowns for a while.
Yeah.
I think they've lifted a lot of them. The government's all over the place, I'm sure, but he seems pretty content.